You are in a meeting. Someone is talking. They have been talking for 4 minutes, and you are fairly sure that nothing in those 4 minutes was new information, or a decision, or even a complete thought, but they are still talking, and everyone is still listening. Across the table there is a person who has said almost nothing. You know they understand the problem better than anyone here. You read the thing they wrote at 11 at night that quietly solved the question everyone else spent a week arguing about. Their hands are folded. They are waiting for a gap. The gap does not come. 6 weeks later, the person who was talking gets promoted. You probably think you just watched somebody get fooled. A careless manager. A badly run company. Somebody should have been paying closer attention. It was not that. This happens in almost every group of humans that has ever been studied. Executives, students, strangers who met 11 minutes ago. And it happens hardest to the people who are certain they are immune, including you. Ask yourself what makes a person emerge as a leader, and you reach for a short list. Competence, judgment, the ability to see the whole board. Notice what those have in common. They are all about the substance of the person. Now here's the finding. None of that reliably predicts who the group picks. One thing does, and it has almost nothing to do with the person at all. How long they talked. Not what they said. How long. In 2020, a team led by Neil McLaren at Binghamton University published the study that finally pinned this down in the Leadership Quarterly. The suspicion was 70 years old, but nobody could prove it, because of course leaders talk more. That is what leading is. The arrow could point either way, so they measured everything first. Intelligence, personality, gender, how good each person actually was at the task. Then they put people into small leaderless groups, gave them a real problem, recorded how long each spoke, and asked one question. Who was the leader? Speaking time predicted the answer, and it kept predicting it after every one of those other variables was accounted for. It outpredicted intelligence, it outpredicted agreeableness, and it outpredicted how good the person actually was at the thing the group was trying to do. The quality of what was said showed no significant influence. Not a small influence, none that reached significance. You could have been reciting a grocery list. Something did matter alongside the talking, and it gives away the mechanism, not the words. Where everyone's eyes landed, the pitch of the voice, the group was not evaluating the argument. It was tracking who sat at the center of the room. So why would a brain work this way? Because it is a shortcut, and shortcuts exist because the honest version is expensive. Actually weighing what 11 people are saying is slow, costly work. But there is a cheap signal sitting right there. Who is holding the floor? Who does everyone keep turning toward? Fast, free, and correlated with something real, often enough to be worth using. In a small group of people who have watched each other work for years, where there is no advantage to talking beyond what you have to say, the loud one and the competent one are frequently the same person. The shortcut works. In a room of 11 near strangers, where speaking is rewarded and silence is invisible, and the person with the most to gain from talking often has the least to contribute, it breaks. You are running old social software in a room it was never built for. The researchers gave this a name. Not the confidence effect, not visibility bias. They called it the babble hypothesis. There is something almost cruel about a species that does this, naming it so accurately. One honest limit. What the research shows is that speaking time predicts who a group perceives as its leader. Perception. In small groups, under controlled conditions, it does not prove the loudest person always ends up running the company. The finding is narrower than that, and stranger. When a group of humans is asked to identify a leader from among themselves, the thing they measure is not the thing they believe they are measuring. They think they are assessing judgment. They are assessing airtime, which means the fix is structural, not moral. You cannot decide to stop being influenced by this. Nobody can. You can only change the room. Ask for written input before the discussion. Notice who has not spoken, and ask them directly. Otherwise, you keep promoting the loudest person, and keep wondering why the quiet one left. Go back to that meeting. The person talking. The person with their hands folded. The promotion 6 weeks later. You thought you were watching someone get fooled. You were watching a shortcut work exactly as designed, in front of 11 people who all believed they were listening to what was being said. They were not. They were counting the seconds.